broadcasting live from an undisclosed location in the universe. Welcome to Iggy Garcia Live, the show where metaphysics, holistic living, motivation, and inspiration come together to empower your mind, body, and soul. We will dive deep into the realms of metaphysical wisdom, exploring the fascinating connections between mind and matter. Get ready to ignite your inner spark and embrace a journey of self-discovery. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Here we go. Welcome to Iggy Garcia Live. I'm your host, of course, Iggy Garcia. Who else would it be, right? If it's Iggy Garcia show, it's me. Wow, I can't believe a few more days and we're going to be going into April. Kind of crazy, if you ask me. I can't believe how how fast time has traveled and how fast we've been going through this winter. We're in spring now, which is really cool. I'm pretty excited about that. So, get started here. We're going to burn a little ceremonial sage, get us ready, get us in the mood, get us in the space, clearing the energy, get us prepared, asking for guidance from our ancestors, asking for Creator to come and guide us on this journey today as we share. Let that burn a little bit here, put that on the side. I hope everybody's doing well. You know, if you want to say hi, say hello. I can see your comments here. Excuse me. I have a smoke in the throat. But it feels like I haven't done a show in a while, but it's kind of been an interesting month for me. There's been a lot going on and a lot happening. A lot of you, I've been keeping up with the drum circles and the different events that I'm part of and sharing. So I appreciate those who come out and share with us and participate with us. That's how we keep things going. That's how we keep things moving. So, you know, I have a YouTube channel, so you subscribe to my channel. It's Iggy Garcia. You can actually, it's Iggy Garcia, and it's good to be here. That's what it's called. So you can join me there. And I also have on Instagram and on Facebook, of course. Right now, I'm kind of not really using TikTok too much. I find the platform isn't very friendly to some degree. I feel like I'm just putting a lot of content up and it's not going anywhere, which is probably normal for the design, the way they use it, for the structure they use it. It is a business and they're trying to make money off of it, which is understandable. And so I'm just trying to plug in wherever I can, but I try to stay where I'm able to communicate. So Facebook and Instagram are my choices, and Facebook lets me do this live stream, and then I transpose everything over to YouTube. And on YouTube, I collect all my stuff there. So I haven't really talked too much about what I've been up to lately. I've kind of been just working and hibernating a little bit and trying to figure out strategies for the next evolution of the work that I'm doing. Because as we grow, as we mature, we have to find different ways to express ourselves and share with ourselves and share with the world things that we want to share. And so I'm just trying to see if the messages that I'm sharing are being heard or not heard. Regardless, I post them and I share them because I know that somebody listens to it and somebody gets something out of it. And that's important. And I'm not trying to collect people here or collect likes, whatever. No, I'm just trying to get a message out, you know, and however it develops, however it goes, and whoever it helps. That's the way I feel that my work is done. But a little thing about me here, I'm going to be having surgery soon. I'm going to be having surgery on, it's an old incision that I had when back in early 2000s that I had work done on my intestines, and they had to clean them up and work on it, and I had a hernia. So basically what has happened over time, I've gained weight. Whoa, who didn't notice that? I gained a little weight, and plus my trying to get back into shape, and the combination of all that just didn't work out right. So I ended up I had a hernia in the umbilical cord area where they had my emergency surgery. So it hasn't been scheduled yet. It's going to be sometime in April. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to wait to April, go through April, and just do it in May, and then pretty much be off. I won't be doing anything in May. I'd be pretty much off for 4 to 6 weeks, recovering from that pretty significant injury that I have. So those of you who wonder what I haven't been doing too much, I just kind of laying low and just trying to get my energy and get myself back in line. So anyhow, I'm here to talk about just self-care, about who we are and what it means to, you know, empower ourselves in the work we do and in the things we believe in. I mean, it's easy for me to say, you got the power, because that's the name of the show, right? That's the episode. You got the power. But you do have the power. You have the power to make a lot of choices or no choices at all. No matter how you do it, it's a powerful choice, right? No matter if you decide to go one way or not, you're going to be empowered in that decision. Now, the thing that I worry about, sometimes people make decisions out of, fear or self-preservation, where they don't feel like if they do it, they might fail. But, part of life is falling and getting back up. And for a lot of us, falling has a bad connotation. Oh, I can't fail. I can't fail. But, failure is not a bad thing. Failure is a way for us to gauge and say, hey, this is where I'm falling short. I'm not doing something right. And sometimes we don't fall because it's our own cognition, our own self that caused that failure. Sometimes it's the failure happens because we've embedded ourselves or parked ourselves onto somebody else's dream, somebody else's vision, somebody else's, ride or whatever. We've jumped the bandwagon, however you want to look at it. There's different ways to look at it. It's different for everybody. But I do know this, that sometimes when we give away our power, I'm sorry about that. When we give away our power, I mean, when we give away our power, that's giving away us. I mean, it's pretty simple math. When we give away our powers, we give away our core, our spirit, our soul. So how do we not do that? Well, it's easy for me to sit here and say, oh, you can just walk away or you can just do it. And sometimes, we don't even know we're in the crux of a situation that has pinned us or pigeonholed us into a situation that we can't move. We start to believe and indoctrinate and things into our own belief system that maybe not even ours. So you're talking about trauma, abuse, all these different things that happen to people. A lot of people, there's a lot of reasons why people don't move forward, why people don't try to propel themselves into a better situation. Sometimes the situation that feels corrupt and dysfunctional feels safer because you have some sense of control within that dysfunctionality. But I'm here to tell you, yeah, you may feel safe, you may feel comfortable, and you don't want to rock the boat or whatever. But does that really what you want for your life? I mean, that's the things we have to ask ourselves. We all talk about we want better, we want wealth, we want riches, we want this or that. Every human being has wants and needs, period. There's none of us who don't get away from that. Everybody's wants and needs are completely different. Absolutely, yes. Everybody's wants and needs are completely their own design. Now, sometimes we can't move forward because we start to buy into other people's hypes, other people's beliefs. That's why it's so important for me and for others to realize, the people around you. Take a look at the people who are around you. Where are they going? What are their desires and dreams? What is that you notice about them and that you notice about yourself? Sometimes we feel like we're the leader, and sometimes we feel like we're leading, and then sometimes we realize, well, we weren't leading anybody. We were actually, the belief of leading people to nowhere sometimes is very evident too. You could be in a group of people. You can be in a group of people and feel like you're the leader, but then the group actually dictates what happens. Say you want to go to, you want to go for a walk. And then everybody's like, well, let's go here, let's go there. And then the leader goes, oh, well, let's just go here. And then everybody's, no, we don't go there. So you propose an idea, you propose something to do, and it doesn't work out. But I mean, does that mean the group collapses? No, not necessarily. The group means they have checks and balances within themselves. Now, the thing that we have to worry about is, do we have say in the group? Or do we create say in the group? There's a lot of groups that are created, and a lot of friendships that are created, and there are some in the group that don't feel like they have a voice in the group. They don't have a voice in the friendship. Not because they don't speak, not because it's not something they're not connected with or they're not engaging with, but some people's personalities just are just not about voicing their opinion or their belief, or they feel like they're not heard. Most of the time, people who don't speak is because they're listening, they want to learn. Pardon me, take a little drink here. Or is that just they just don't they're just kind of going for the ride. You have to ask yourself, are you going for the ride? Are you there temporarily? When you make new friends, what are you looking for in new friends? What is it you look for? What is it that you're looking for? Let's say you're looking for a partner. What's that partner look like to you? What does that person look like? Because you're going to spend a lot of time with somebody and with others who have their own ideas and ideologies about things. And at first, people don't project and they don't share because they're trying to create the bonds between each other. And this could be for several years. This could be, 4 or 5 years, whatever. And then those bonds all of a sudden start to deteriorate because somebody's always the head of the group. And it's not always the person who is projected to be the leader of the group. It's usually the person who doesn't say a lot. It's usually the things that are said behind closed doors, things that are said, in kind of in the conversation. So when you look at your friends, the friends that you have in your circle that you've created, some of you will say, well, we all lead. We all take turns. We all take, our opportunities. This is true, but there's always somebody who's the catalyst for movement in those groups. Now, the question is, do you want to be the catalyst? Are you the catalyst? If you are the catalyst, how do you move the group? How do you keep everybody, moving and flowing and getting along? Sometimes we're like animals. We have the betas and the alphas, and then you have the dominant ones, and then you have the ones that aren't dominant. This happens in humanity just like wolf packs, or any kind of animal pack. There's always somebody who is going to be dominant. It doesn't matter if it's man or woman. It doesn't matter. And sometimes when you believe in somebody's vision and somebody's belief in somebody's who's created something, we follow. We follow. Right now we're in a situation where our decision making is presenting itself and projecting itself in the future now. It's all the decision making of our ancestors, all the people who come before us are presenting themselves now. Everything that we've rejected or ignored or not said anything about or voiced an opinion about is projecting and manifesting itself in the present moment. And we can go, let's go in the political arena. Let's just see in the political arena. Right now, from the decisions that we have made as humans in this country, just this country alone, we have created two entities of beliefs. We have this entity that belongs with the Republican Party. We have this entity that belongs to the Democratic Party. And the few figureheads that represent those parties don't necessarily represent the whole. It may represent some people, but not the whole. But yet people will jump on it, support it, and be with it just because it is. And this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You got the power. We have the power to make decisions and change things. But it doesn't have to be through violence. It doesn't have to be through protest. We just have to make decisions that this is not the way I want to go. We buy into stuff all the time. We buy into things that if we don't do this, then you don't deserve that, or you don't deserve this, or you don't get that, or you shouldn't be able to represent this. I watch how people punish people. And I don't know, I'm sure you notice it too, how other people punish people for having their own personal mind, their own cognitive brain to think and believe something is good for them. Yes, there is sometimes where we think for ourselves, but for the whole, but as if the whole is all of us. We are all the whole. each piece part of us is the whole. Without each piece and part, there is no whole. There are holes where those pieces should belong. And there's where things lie and where people get lost in the world. That they think they should not be part of something, or they don't think they have a voice in that big mechanism. Because they don't understand that they are part of the mechanism. They are the mechanism. They are the reason why things turn. But sometimes we don't see it because we see ourselves so small. We see ourselves so little. We see ourselves apart from it. Oh, I can't make a difference. Oh, no. Listen, I ran for Congress, back in the early 2000s, 2004, What did I go in there knowing that I was going to win? No, I didn't go in necessarily for winning. I went in there to show that if we stand up and we present ourselves and we get out there and do something, there's potential to make change. Did my actions when I ran for office, did that open up a window for the party to go, oh, well, we don't want this guy, so we're going to support this guy? Did it open up a window? These are the things we don't think about, when our actions create reactions and other actions come from that. It's like, we all talk about this all the time. You see someone getting beat up and someone's filming it on the camera and everybody's around there. No one's there to even stop the fight. Everybody's there just egging on the fight instead of saying, hey, listen, someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get killed. But no, we are animals and we behave like animals sometimes. And there's nobody there to break the fight up. There's nobody there to say, hey, separate. Because we're so invested. Oh, but if I get involved, I might have to go to court. Oh, if I get involved, then I might get beat up. These are chances that we take. That's why there are people who are followers and why there are people who lead. You could be angry at all the rich people in the world. You could be angry at all the poor people in the world. You could be angry at all the middle class people in the world. But what's your point of being angry with them? They're doing what they feel they need to do. Listen, most wealthy people, I'm not saying I'm wealthy because I'm not, but the things that I've read, most wealthy people, what they do, they disassociate themselves from people who have lack of vision, who don't see the world beyond its barriers that they've created. They don't see the world, only but in front of them, or 100 yards, or tomorrow, or next week. Most people, and I'm going to throw a name out there, Elon Musk. A lot of you don't like him, but it's not about liking. Even when Tesla was around, nobody liked him either. But we're so fascinated by Tesla and all his achievements and all the things that he did because he got the power. He had the power. He had his mind and he had his vision. He had his dream and his imagination. And he opened up that dream and that imagination. And he was ridiculed. Why? Because other businessmen saw him as a threat. Other people saw him as a threat. And they painted him as a threat. Was he a threat? I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't born in that time. I can only go by the history that was written about him and whoever wrote the history, because that's somebody else's indoctrination and someone else's words that I have to read and go by and disseminate and discern from that and break it apart and bring it back apart. Okay, so he was in love with a pigeon. Who's to say the pigeon wasn't an alien from outer space that communicated to him? Oh, well, how can that possibly be? But no one has vision. No one has the idea that things aren't always how they are, how they seem. We believe that everything has to be in a construct that's understandable. Constructs of understanding are the constructs that you've created, all the memories and all the things that your rose-colored glasses that makes you feel comfortable, that makes you feel good. So there's this man who creates, AC current, right? Alternating current. And then his ideas were stolen. and his ideas were used to charge. And this is electricity. Nobody invented electricity. That's bullshit when someone says they invented electricity. Electricity's been around. They harnessed electricity. They corralled electricity. Those are the proper words. We don't speak in proper words sometimes. It's like saying Christopher Columbus discovered America. No, he did not discover America. Christopher Columbus stumbled into America. He didn't even come to America. He came down into the islands, the West Indies islands, because he was trying to get to India. Indio. Looking for the Indios. And we read history because somebody wrote history for us. So whatever you read is what you're going to get. However, whoever's in the power in that moment will dictate how you should interpret the message. So when you read stuff, yeah, it may be correct, but it's what they want you to read. They want you to know. This is why it's so important to understand. Don't just knock somebody off because they have a different point of view than yours. Because you might find something in the nugget in there that you may not have seen. Oh no, but it's this way. No, Iggy, you're wrong. I've had people bash me. I've had people tell me that I was crazy to even think that way. Well, I'm a free thinker. I think, and I try to think outside the box why things may be a certain way, why people may feel this way. I can't necessarily just jump on and just ride the wave and go, okay, this is the way we're going to go because everybody's going that way. Let's all go swim and drown together. If I drown on my own, then that's of my own cognition. That's my own personal satisfaction or desire to do so. But if I know if I jump on that ship and I'm going to drown, I'm not going to drown. I'm not going to do it. I'm just speaking out of personal feelings of my own. I watch our political landscape right now, and I watch how we're all being played. We're all being played. The lesser of two evils. Oh, then you've admitted that it is evil. It doesn't matter if it's this one or that one. It is still evil. Evil is the evil, right? Whatever you interpret evil. So whatever your mind goes, what evil is, that's what it is. And if evil is lesser than, then that's where your mind goes. Because we don't know nothing. We don't know anything about anybody. You may think that you know something about somebody because you've heard them say or someone accused them of this or accused them of that. Oh my God, I've been accused of things in the past, of things I didn't even do. I've watched my dad, an immigrant, get arrested for nothing. And I waited for him and bailed him out of jail. And they dropped the charges. Oh, sorry, we mistaked you for somebody else. My life is different than most people. I grew up in a bar. I grew up in a restaurant. I grew up the son of a military man. I grew up the son of who owned businesses. I can't have the attitude of just, oh, fuck you, Can't do that. No, you have to go in there and you have to really assert yourself and be a lot of things for a lot of people. You're almost like psychologist. You're almost like learning to be not necessarily a chameleon, but a person who listens and sits there and tries to hear what someone's really saying. Revolutions started in bars and restaurants. All kinds of things have started where people congregated. Very little has anything ever happened where people are just sitting around. Right now, we're in a time of great flux and great change. We've been put through many strenuous tests of our desires and our beliefs and our understanding of who we are and how we see the world and how the world projects upon us by a handful of people, not by a big majority, it's by a minority of people who control the masses. You've got the power, friends. All of you have the power to make great decisions for yourself or for others. If you like the decisions you're making now, then perfect, great. If you're not, then you need to really look at yourself, look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I? How am I? How do I fit into this? How do I move into this? How do I do better? Is this better? Can it be better? What comes next? Listen, the only reason people who run for office and who are in politics is because they jumped in there and did it. They found another avenue in order to make money. It's no different than you going to college or they go to college for 4 to 5, 6 years, whatever, and then you get a job and they go into politics. People ask me all the time, oh, why aren't there good people in office? Because people aren't good. People have shadow sides. People screw up. People make mistakes. People are dumb sometimes. We do stupid things. We're afraid of our past being projected into the ethers so people can see it. We don't want people to know who we really are. You run for politics, everybody's going to go at you. Everybody's going to want to dig and see what they can find on you. That's why a lot of people don't run for office. That's why there are no good people in office. Because you got to be just a little bit different type of thinking to be in office. You know? Are there nice guys in politics? Sure. Nice gals in politics? I'm sure there are. I can't say that. I can't speak, no. But are there really some strange energy in there? Yeah, there is. Why are they there? Because they got the power. They made a decision that they're going to do something that the average person won't do. The average person won't get out of bed. They'll hit the snooze button until they hit it 3 times, until they crawl out of bed and totally disrupt their sleep, you know? Why do people who have money have money? Luck, inheritance, who knows? You can put anything in there to fill the gap. But I know when I was running my business, I had to get up. I had to be in my shop, and I had to open the doors and pray to God that the things that I advertised, the things that I presented, was going to bring people into the business. But that's old school business, right? Because that's the way I was taught. That's the way I was raised. And then, I have to do it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. I remember going home at 4:30 in the morning and have to be up at 9:30 in the morning, and do it again. That was too crazy for me. My dad could do it. He loved that. But that's my dad. That wasn't me. Man, when my dad went crazy when he heard I didn't want to do restaurant anymore. I wanted to do the properties and things that more tailored to my strengths. But I sitting around all day watching people get drunk or watch people just tell you the problems every day long. Not much has changed in some avenues because I still kind of do that work, but in a holistic way. I do it in a holistic way through metaphysical means. I do through drumming. I do through my shamanic practice. I just, sometimes I'm just there. But I also have to improve. I have to get better. That we are afraid of will always nudge at us. That thing that we want to grow, the thing that we fear the most, the thing that we know we should be doing, we don't do, but we don't do it because we're afraid that we might fail, that someone might make fun of us, and that we may not succeed at it. You got to do it. You have to do it. You will never know if you're good at something. You'll never know if that was your path because you took the path of less resistance. It's like choosing the lesser of two evils, right? You took the path that didn't cost you as much energy, didn't cost you much. Because, I'm like you. I want to watch my Netflix. I want to get my ice cream. I want to be able to just sit back and relax, chill. And, sometimes in order to become that person that we want to become, it takes a lot of work. It doesn't just appear. Everything that has brought you to this point, present moment in time, where you're at right now, is a compilation of all the things and all the people that you've invited, all the things that you've read, all the books, all the magazines, everything, all the music, all the sounds, all the motivation, anything that you've listened to, anything that you've indoctrinated and put into your head is there, filed there for the rest of your life. And, for a lot of us, that's a lot of information. How do you want to grow? How do you want to be? How do you want to see the world? It's easy like I said, it's easy for me to sit here and go, point fingers and go, if you just do that, you'd get this. But if you don't do that, you won't get this. Listen, as the work I do as a coach, as whatever you want to call facilitator, I know one thing: the universe loves action. That's one of the first rules of the universe. It loves action. The universe hates a void. You know, if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to do what the universe is asking, the universe will find somebody else to fill that void. It's like when you mow your grass, right? And you scalp the lawn. What's the first thing that happens? It turns brown, there's a little dirt, and in a few weeks what happens? The grass doesn't grow back. It's never the grass. It's hardly the grass unless you put seed there, right? Unless you take action and put seed there and purposely and intentionally maintain it and give it life and give it the attention. This is the growth. This is, I got the power part. But if you don't, what happens? The universe hates a void. So it will grow whatever it needs to grow there. So whatever seeds are flying through the air, whatever weeds that are still dormant under there will grow there. That's how the universe goes. That's why you see grass and you see it growing, and then all of a sudden it's like a patch of weeds or crabgrass, because the universe knows. Remember, the grass that's in our yard, usually the people like to keep it green and put a lot of effort into it, which is okay. That grass was never around during the dinosaur period. So anytime you see pictures of dinosaurs grazing in the grass wasn't there. Do your research on that. I'll give you a challenge on that. You can prove me wrong, because that's a true story. Grass wasn't around 60 million years ago. Okay. Grass is a seed. You know, the corn grows. Corn is grass. I don't know if you knew that. My people, Incas, made, and the people here in this part of this country, before anybody was creating modified foods, native indigenous people were creating modified foods. Why? Because they had to survive. They had to live. They had to find another means to sustain their cultures. Why? Because they were big. The cultures that you see and the cultures that we read about are the outskirt cultures of things that were there before that. We don't have true history of what was really there. The illusion is that we think that primitive persons, primitive men and women were primitive. No, they were not. The audacity to think that we are the only, educated or the most advanced species on this planet is such hogwash. Is such BS. No, my friends. There have been societies, there have been people who were before us who were much more advanced than us. They had advances, but you know what? What happened? It's like anything good, right? Somebody finds a way to screw it up. Someone finds a way to taint it. Look at our lives. Look at our world. We blame other people for the tainting. We blame Trump. We blame Putin. We blame anybody. Anybody you want to blame, you can blame. But the masses, the people, us, we the people, we the humans, the hominids, the humans, we have the power to change everything. But we won't do it. We won't do it. We'll scream and yell, we'll protest and tell everybody to go to hell, and we'll do stuff, but we won't do it because we're doing it wrong. You have to get into their circles. You have to get into their playgrounds to do it. They won't let you in there. They won't let you come in there. They got the power. You got the power, but they got the power. And that power that they have is the power we invested in them. It's true. When we believe kings are glorified and they should be praised because they're from God, or when we vote for congressional leaders because they represent the people in our district, but yet when they vote on something that we don't agree on and we all said no, they still vote on it because we don't know better, that's a problem. It's a unbalanced core. The reason the world's in the shithole is because nobody will stand up. If enough people decide, I'm going to die today, I'm going to take a bullet for every belief that I believe in, this world will change. But nobody wants to die. Nobody's willing to sacrifice their life and go down. And unity is, yeah, I hear unity. Unity is very powerful, but unity only happens when people decide to become united. If we don't decide to become united, we don't. Because why? Because They keep us separate. They keep us apart. They keep us over here. They keep us on our team A and team B. Oh, team B stupid. Don't listen to them. Team A stupid. So they're unified in their belief, and they're unified in their belief. But I'm talking about the true unification. If you want to create true unification, then you have to erase everything. You have to destroy the construct that we created. We shouldn't be paying for things that are naturally belong to the earth, wind, water, natural gas, all these things that belong to us, all the things that belong to Mother Earth. They should be harnessed, and we should be paying in a different way. But we're the only species that charges our species to survive and live. My dog could run away tomorrow and survive without me. Yeah, it might be rough the first few weeks, but she'll figure it out. But if I was to run away out into the jungle, out into the woods, could I survive? I'm talking about me personally. Could I? Maybe for the first week. Most of us could not survive if it would just kind of fell apart. And this is the things that they indoctrinate into our mind. They indoctrinate all this stuff in our head. Oh no, if you don't have us, the world collapses. You don't have the infrastructure to eat. You don't have the food sources to come to you. You don't have the medication to keep you alive because you have diabetes and you have cancer, or you have this ailment and that ailment. It's all programming, my friends. Everything's programming. Yeah, sure you do have diabetes. Sure you do have something, but you don't ask yourself how you got there. Most people don't ask how I got there. How did I get sick? Well, let's see. They tell us what to eat unless we grow it in our yard. Unless we grow it, we have no control over it. If you see it in the store, if you buy it from a drive-through, then it's not yours. It's theirs. It's their indoctrination. It's their venom. It's their way to control you. Am I guilty? Sure. I go and sometimes I buy some things out of the store that I need. The majority of the time I do. Why? I have product A and product B, and I can pick it. And that's my point, friends. My point is they got the power, you've got the power. So when you think that you're in charge, you're not in charge of nothing. You don't even have free will. Tell me how you have free will. Explain to me, someone post on here how you have free will. I'm not talking about the ordained free will from God. I'm talking about free will to do whatever you want and be whatever you want. In America, they make us believe that we can be whatever we want. We can do, and we can, if we do the work. If we don't do the work, we don't have anything. Free will is a concept. I have a choice to make a difference. I have a choice to become something. But what happens is we don't make choices. We don't make choices because we're comfortable. And majority of us are comfortable. Majority of us will not change our lives. Majority of us will not go into a new activity, a new place, or a new thinking, or a new possibility because, you know why? Because we're comfortable where we're at. We're comfortable. You're comfortable with group A or you're comfortable with group B. You will follow. When group A slams group B and group B slams group A, this is because they pinned us against each other. We've been pinned against each other. We've been put in the circumstances that we have to fight each other. We have no choice but to. Why? Because who else are you going to fight? Them? Oh, I'm a Democrat. Oh, I'm independent. Oh, I'm a libertarian. Oh, that's how they get us. They put us in all these categories, subcategories, and they categorize us and categorize us and categorize us until we believe that we don't even know who we are. We're humans. If you want to use a word, we're human beings, human doings, human being, human doings. Pick your choice. Are you doing or being? What are you doing, human? What are you being, human? The whole political landscape, the whole political structure of the world is screwed up because the people who are in power make us feel powerless. But they make us feel powerless in a way that if we don't have them, then we're not protected. We're not. Any conquering nation, anybody who conquers another nation will always tell the people, we will protect you from them. But you have to follow us and be with us, and we will feed you. Shit. The Incas did it. The Incas went to every tribe down that coastline and said, hey, we're going to, they sent an envoy. We're going to conquer you. You can join us, so there's no bloodshed. You know, if that's okay with you, you can be part of our, kingdom, part of the Inca Empire, and we'll all work together and collaborate and share. But if you don't want to, well, that's kind of a problem because you're kind of going against what we want to create here. We're going to come conquer you. We're going to just slaughter you guys down. Yes, this is the Incas. And yes, you can do your research. They conquered people too. They were conquerors too. The Incas were conquerors. They conquered other tribes. And these tribes, when they were conquered, it wasn't pretty. But if you assimilate and you became part of the Borg, like in Star Trek, if you became part of the system, then you were taken care of. You were given your provisions, you were given your food, you had one leader from your tribe was in charge of that, made sure that everybody stayed stable and everything was good. Yeah. Yes, the whole system is designed to make us fearful, create fear, false evidence appearing real. But you know why? Why? Because they have the mechanism. This is something we don't talk about sometimes. They have the mechanism to put us into a state of fear. They have the armory, they have the weaponry, they have all the things that most people don't have. This is why it's so vital to understand, why many governments want to disarm their people. I'm not trying to be a revolutionary here. I'm just trying to give you ideas and think about stuff. If a government says people shouldn't have arms, because we'll take care of them. They don't need us. We'll take care of them. But what happens when the government becomes tyrannical and the government becomes, in a sense, uncontrollable? How are you going to fight them? How are you going to protect yourself? You can't. History has proven that. You can go through history and you can look at all that. What happens when people don't have ways to arm themselves or protect themselves? First thing that goes, first things go, crops and your way of protecting yourself. Because that's how it's done, friends. You don't even know it. It's so subtle. It's so ambiguous. It's so, just kind of like, I can't even, it's kind of disturbing. When Europeans landed here, and the people who never have seen a European or seen a ship or seen a horse, can you imagine the imagery that came into your mind as a person of this land, of this region, going, what is that? I've never seen that before. What is that? Oh, why is he so shiny? Why does he have a thunder rod? I would be, like if an alien race came down here and they zapped a few people or they just look different, I would probably be at all going, whoa, I don't know if I can compete against that. That's kind of wild. But that's the thing I'm telling you. That's what I'm trying to say. They have the power, we have the power. And both powers are not equal. They're not equal. We think we're free because we believe we're free, because somebody lets it be that way. But you really got to ask yourself, are you really free? What are you really free of? There are other countries you could be free. There's other countries where you may not have the same freedoms that maybe you have here. And I guess it's all really based on what you feel is freedom for you. What is freedom for you? What is that makes you feel safe here? What makes you feel safe here in this country? What avenues, what pieces, what parts of this nation makes you feel free? Because you can go vote every 4 years or every couple years. That's free. You made a change. That's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough because in the early part of my talk, I was talking about who are the people who run for office. It's usually people who got to be a little bit out there. You got to have a little bit of showmanship. You got to be a little bit, the average person doesn't run for office. The average person doesn't. You got to be a little bit crazy if you're going to be a politician, because you're dealing with so much dysfunctional energy that you have to be able to navigate. That's why when we make fun of other of people who are in office or who are running for office, or when we look at them, we don't look at them because we're not like that, right? And it doesn't, we don't compute, we don't understand that because we look at it and we're like, I would never do that. Of course, that's my point. You would never do that. And if you did do that, you wouldn't want anybody to know that you did do that. And if most good people who don't run for office usually have more baggage. A person who's good usually becomes good later on in life because they've failed so much. They've gone down that road of destruction and peril. There are a lot of great leaders who have drinking problems. There are a lot of great leaders who have drug issues. There are a lot of great leaders who are womanizers. There are a lot of great leaders who, you know, are just different. But we don't want to see that. We want our politicians to be perfect. We want everybody to look like a certain type of look or a certain type of way. This isn't religion, you know. This is not religious. This is life, everyday life, that we have to engage with the consequences and the decision making of people who we've put there. This is not where I wanted my show to go, but it gives me good examples to share about who's got the power. You got the power, but you got to believe you got the power. You've got the power to change your life in the microcosm of where you're at, and then the macrocosm as well. You know, there's just so much that we can do, and we won't do it. We won't do it because we're afraid that we might get arrested. We're afraid that we might be ridiculed, made fun of, and we just don't have, like they said, we just don't have it in us to do it. That's usually the biggest part, is you just don't have it. My dad used to say, when you don't have it, you don't have it. You know, that's kind of it, you know. If you can't kick a soccer ball, we could teach you, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be good. We can teach you to kick a soccer ball, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a great soccer player unless you dedicate your life in a way that's very unique. So for us, we just have to look around us in the sphere of influence and the people that we invite into our life, and we have to assess and say, are good people in my life? Are these people benefiting me? Am I benefiting them? Is there give and take, you know? Or is it just take? Am I taking? What am I getting from being with such and such folks? That's what things we need to ask ourselves. Because if we don't ask ourselves if the people in our lives are benefiting us or helping us in a way that's beneficial, me to them or them to us, is that a good relationship to have with someone? Is that a good relationship? Because we can't expect others to give if we're not going to give. You know, we have to also understand relationships are like they're like toddlers trying to figure each other out. You watch little kids; they don't always get along. You watch little babies. Who's this? Just everybody's, oh, they're so innocent and pure. Man, I've seen little kids pull hair and punch and scratch. Why? Because energetically they know. The babe in these little babies know who are good people or bad people. But what happens is society teaches how to take that out of them. They're trying to take that out of my grandson right now because he's very smart and he's very observant. And when he sees injustice, he stands up for that injustice. But no, he gets punished because, you know why he gets punished? Because he was violent, because he pushed another kid he had seen another kid push him because he was defending his friend. And so society is trying to break him down and tell him, you can't do that. If you push, then what's push? I remember when my son, one time got jumped in school by a kid who was messing around, and my son punched him. The guy jumped on him, and my son defended himself. And I was called to the office, and I went to the school, They said, we're going to suspend your son for 3 days for fighting. And I said, excuse me, my son wasn't fighting. My son was defending himself. Well, we have a no fighting policy. Well, that wasn't fighting. That was him defending himself. I said, you know what I'm going to do is I need to call the police, and just file a police report. Oh. You know what? Oh, well, we'll give him 2 days or a day and a half or whatever suspension. I said, why are you going to suspend him? I said, your rules of your school, I understand, but you know what? You're not the law outside of school. If someone is violated, I told him, I said, if someone's violated, if a teacher came here and violated a student, are you going to suspend them? I remember this conversation. It's like, so they just like froze. I remember my daughter, she turned 19, and had a kid who was like groping her. And I'm telling you stories because I think it's important to tell. And I remember, and I go, well, my daughter's having issues. And they said, oh, Mr. Garcia, how old is your daughter now? She's 19. I said, well, she can speak for herself. When she was 17 or 18, they wouldn't let her talk. They let me talk for her. I was like, wow. I was like, mofos. This is why I don't trust the system at times with my kids or my grandkids, because the system is designed to protect the system. The system is not designed to protect you. You think it is because they make you believe it is. It's not. The system is not designed. The system is designed to protect itself first. It protects itself first, then it protects whatever is left. I had a teacher tell me one time, everybody told her, you should speak up, you should speak up. You know what they did to her? She spoke up. And they took her, they picked her up and threw her out of the meeting because she was against the union at that point. So my friends, we're over here talking, we're over here thinking about, you got the power. Who's got the power? Who controls what? The school systems can't even teach our kids properly. Why? Because the entities who are there don't want to. Listen, we should be first in everything if we truly wanted to be first. We should be the best at everything if we wanted to, but we're not. Why? Because we've been taught we don't want everybody to be the best. If everybody's the best, oh, that's a problem. If everybody's the best, how are we going to make it? How are we going to survive if everybody's the best? And who's going to work at McDonald's? Who's going to work at White Castles or at TJ Maxx or at the grocery store, at the gas station, if everybody's the best? And I learned this because it happened to me. I remember being passed in school. Just being passed. My dad took me out and put me in Catholic school. Boy, that was a rude awakening. I had a lot of learning to catch up on. But the school system, the public school system here in Columbus, they just kept passing me. I would have graduated with, who knows? It was very sad. I'm glad that my dad had the vision enough to get me out of there and out of that situation and put me in a better situation. But I tell you, you got the power. They've got the power. It's two conflicting powers. The power of the people and the human race, and the power of this other group of people who see themselves outside of the human race. They see themselves outside of the human race. They feel insulated. They feel like they're untouchable. Anybody who's usually who are in the political scene, they feel untouchable. You can watch it. You can watch anytime you turn the news on any moment, you can see it happening. Untouchable. Anybody who has that whole stronghold on other people's thinking and other people's feelings and emotions. Look at now. Homeland Security raids P. Diddy's house in the East Coast and the West Coast. Arrest his two sons. It's the system is there, and the system is there to function. The system is there to create. There's some bad shit that goes on in this world, and sometimes we just go. And sometimes we're like, and sometimes we're just like, what do I do? Because that's a true feeling when people go, what do I do? Because sometimes you really don't know what to do. Sometimes you don't know because you don't know what you don't know. Well, if I say something, it could cause more problems for me. It could cause more problems for my family. Because we've been taught to be fearful. We've been taught that if we help others, then if it's not in the constructs of what volunteering or helping or picking up trash or doing, there's different ways to help people. You can watch how our children are today, how they are treated. You can watch how teachers treat our kids. You can watch how municipalities treat our homeowners. You can see when the government wants to take your property, they can. You can see that the government, if they don't want to give you any money for or anything, they can. You can see they'll give you, like my friend who posted earlier, they ripped up her land, they ripped up her garden, and they promised her that they were going to put it back after all was done. I guess they didn't, but they gave her $100 gift certificate for a garden store maybe. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's really WTF, man, because you know what? The effort and the love that she put in that garden, in the creation, in the nourishing, in the love and the care that she gave it, and how big it had gotten, and how mature the garden was, $100 would never cover that. Never. But that's how we are. We get piecemealed. Here's $1,000. Here. It's okay. You ever been in a car accident? The insurance company from the other company's calling. We want to settle. We'll give you $1,000 right now if you just. And sometimes people are desperate. They're like, yeah, okay, I'll take the $1,000, and they could have got thousands. Because the system's not designed to help you. The system's designed to help itself. I'm not saying that you can't trust the system, that the system doesn't work, but the system is designed to help itself first. If it doesn't have to pay you, it won't. If the system doesn't have to pay you, it will not pay you. It will not help you. Unless it absolutely has to. You look at your insurance companies as a good example. If it doesn't have to help you, it won't. It's absurd that these insurance companies have these huge arenas, or they're investing in these arenas, naming them Nationwide Arena. They're putting pretty money in there. Why don't you reduce my premium instead of naming it a Nationwide Arena? Some people are like, oh, why you get mad? It's Nationwide Arena, man. I'm thinking outside. I'm thinking of different parameters than you are. I get it. I love sports. I'm like everybody else. Like a lot of people, not everybody else, but a lot of people. But I also see, you know what? We're investing my money. Sometimes it's not. I don't know if I agree with that. But we don't see life like that. We see life very almost shallow and just kind of where we're at. A lot of us are very disappointed, very angry, but we don't even know why we're angry and disappointed. We think we know. We think because, you know, and then we get angry because things don't work out our way. You just don't stop. You just gotta keep plugging away. Everybody has a different vision for this country. Everybody has a different vision for the world. Everybody has a different vision. There's almost 8 billion people on this planet, and you know what? That's 8 billion visions. No wonder it could be a mess, right? No wonder it could be so hard to picture and create something very beautiful on this planet. But we are part of this planet. We are part of this sentient being that lives and breathes and gives and takes from us and buries us, and we bury it. It's alive. Mother Earth is alive. Believe it or not. Every day she spins. Every day the sun comes up and the sun sets. The moon cycles. But yet we're in such a hurry, and we want things done such a way. But we don't listen. Some of us do, but we don't listen to the earth cycles. We're not part of them anymore. We don't indoctrinate with that. We don't see that like we used to. You know, it meant something when the moon was full. You know, it was important. It was important when the new moon was out. Now we're all in a big uproar about this eclipse that's coming. We're more intrigued by something that will never happen again in our lifetime than what we should be doing in our lifetime. I'm not saying you can't see the eclipse. That's not what I'm saying. But if we had that same passion, I guess is what I'm trying to say, like the people who are traveling and paying lots of money to stay in people's homes, if we had that drive like that to be part of something magical, because that's magic, that's the power. That's a universal solar power. That's creator power. Creator power does things that we can't explain. Just creation, the creator, is much bigger than us, much more magical than us. Gives us opportunities to do things, but we don't always do it. But the eclipse coming, just in a couple weeks. If we were that passionate about planet Earth and the people on it, I don't mean you have to be combative. There's different ways to love this planet. There's different ways to, harness that energy. But it's a story all the time when there are people in power or people who have given their power to those people in power. The cycle stays the same. The cycle stays the same. It doesn't change. You tell me what has actually changed in 150 years, honestly. Our solar system hasn't. It's pretty much the same. Cars, we're still driving cars. We're not flying, really. I mean, there's a lot of advancement, but then there's no advancement at the same time. We ridicule somebody because they have a different way of thinking. We get upset with somebody because they don't see the world like we see it. I have these wireless headphones, that's advancement, right? I guess. Who knew? Somebody knew. Because somebody had the vision. Someone had the dream. Someone had the desire. Someone had that power to grab that energy and harness that and say, I'm going to do that. And you know what? I guarantee you it wasn't made in one day. It may have been 20, 30 years of progression to get to this point. And that's sometimes you got to put a lifetime in order for something to happen. We're so impatient. Humans are so impatient. We're impatient. We want it now. And rightfully so, we deserve it now. But there are some things that just have to be like the sun setting, the sun rising, the moon going through its cycles, the planets moving through the universe. Some things just have a way of doing it. And if there's any variance of that, if there's any change on any of that, it changes everything. But in our lives, if we live in that cyclical cycle, going round and around and around and around, that's what we'll keep getting. Round and around, round and around. If you like that, it's okay. But there's a point where you come in your life, you go, is there more to life? Is this it? Am I just going to go round and round? 365 days? Is that it? Is this it? Did I make it to 70 and I retire and then I don't have any energy, no legs, no body to enjoy it? Only the memories of the young person that I was? I don't know. We bought into something that's not very lucrative, in my opinion, to the exploration of the spirit of the soul of a human being. I'm not taking away from people who have sacrificed and given a lot to this planet, to this world, to their families and their lives. Did we have to live like that? Was that our destiny? Is that the destiny of our children, that they're going to do the same thing we're going to do? Go round and around, round and around. It makes me sad when you think about it. I watch my kids, they go round and around, and I watch my grandkids, they're going to go round and around. And they're going to think it's okay. But they're going to think, oh, it's okay. You know why? Because someone implanted in their head that that's the way it is. That's the way it should be. Don't question it. That's always how it's been. Get a college degree. Oh, you need a college degree. If you don't have a college degree, you're nothing. Whatever. Okay? I'm not saying it doesn't help. It doesn't work in the situation, in the parameters that we have. I've seen some people come out dumber, okay, having college degrees and not able to get a job. Listen, if you're a PhD, master's, and you can't get a job, I don't know what's going on with you. You're overqualified. I don't know. It's the system. They've got the power, we've got the power. And then when the two collide, it's a shit show. Now, a lot of you are coming in right now. I would go back to the beginning of the show and listen to the show because there's some good stuff here. Some good stuff. You might be catching a piece of something that I said and you may not understand what I'm saying. And you're probably thinking, oh, there goes Iggy again, ranting again. The mind of Iggy, when the mind of Iggy is floating and it's there and it wants to share, it shares. Now, I'm not saying my mind's uniquer than anybody else or it's special. It's my mind. This is my platform to change and question the things that need to be questioned. I'm going to share something with you. This is the powers that be. This lady, I forget where it was. It was in Nigeria. I don't know, some African country. Well, they have all those apps like Yelp and stuff. So she wrote a review about a tomato sauce, and the review wasn't very flattering, which caused a lot of people not to buy the sauce because basically it was just too sweet, she thought. And I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. I get it. Well, here's what happened. They sued her. I don't know if they won or not. I have to do a little more research, but she got sued because she wrote a review about something that she didn't think was good in her mind. That went to court. Could you imagine if people wrote things about my restaurant they have, if I wrote something about something that wasn't nice, I'm going to get sued. How sensitive have we become? I don't know. I try to write my reviews. When I have a review, I try to write it. Very thinking about, the people's livelihoods too. If I didn't like it, I find other words to describe things I don't like. Unless it's really bad, well, that's one thing. You can't really hide that, but I haven't really had anything really bad. But this is the kind of stuff where in this world is just the world's kind of in a toxic but loving way all at the same time. It's like a really bad salad. You got pieces that are rotten over here, and some pieces are really good. We're just a big salad bowl. The world's a salad bowl, and we're tossed in it from time to time. Sometimes it looks really pretty, and sometimes it's just too much dressing. But anyhow, follow me on YouTube, Iggy Garcia. It's good to be here. That's what it's called, my page. On Instagram, at Mandriotti. That is my part of my last name, Ignacio Garcia Mandriotti. And then you can follow me here on Facebook as well. So I guess I think I've said enough for today. I've covered things that I felt I needed to cover, needed to share. Getting ready to rock and roll into, now we're getting ready to go into April now. April showers, bring me flowers. See how it goes. And my surgery, I'll let you guys know how that goes when it happens. And yeah, just be the power that you need to be. Just assert and think about all the things that are around you. Just look, and just, if you're happy there, that's great. If you're not happy there, then you have to assess some things, what you need to change in your life. Because it's your life. Your life is your life. And how you want to experience your life is up to you. If you're okay just being part of the system and going along and doing what everybody else is doing, then cool, do that. But if you really want to make a change, you're going to have to get dirty sometimes to make a change. There's no, because 50% of people are going to like you, and 50% of people are going to dislike you. So you got to have a little bit of thick skin, because when you step out, others are stepping in. Very rarely does people step out because they're afraid what would happen to them, or they're afraid that they may flounder and fail. So when you step out, if you decide to step out of your comfort zone, of your little corrals, out of your little lives that you created, and you want more, just know, maybe in the beginning you won't notice it. You won't notice the changes right away. You might feel a lot of the negative, a lot of the punch. Just keep plugging away. Just keep plugging away. Great inventions and great minds have plugged away almost to the day of their deaths to prove their theories and their beliefs and their points. How dedicated are you to your power? How dedicated are you to your thoughts, your beliefs and dreams? How dedicated do you want to be? Do you want to be half dedicated, fully dedicated? What does that mean to you? What does that look like to you? What does that smell and taste like to you? Because when you start to step out, people will notice you. People will say, oh, who are you? Oh, there you are. I've been wondering when you're going to step out. You're going to see, or you're going to hear all kinds of stuff. But when you step out, understand where you came from. That's the humble part. Be humble. Understand that you weren't always sharp tool. You weren't always the sharp tool. You know, you had a lot of learning to do. You had a lot of sharpening to be sharpened. You were dull. You were lonely. You were afraid. You were scared. But little by little, you chopped away, and here you are. Some of you are doing some amazing things. Some of you young people are going to do some crazy, amazing things. Why? Because you believe enough in yourself. You don't need Iggy Garcia to tell you, hey, do it. You believe enough in your dream and your passion that you'll do it. Where dreams die is usually when we tell other people about our dreams and they give us our opinion. Be careful who you ask your opinion to. Don't ask them how they think about it. Never ask somebody what they think, because thinking is different than feeling. Ask them how they feel. How do you feel about that? Because it's a different response. Ask yourself, what do I think? How do I feel? Two different things. Because if I ask you to think about something that you've never been part of or don't know anything of, or you've watched something on a show, or you've seen something, or you've heard something, you're going to project that onto the person who's trying to get outside of the box. They're going to give you a painting, a picture, something that they're not even qualified to give. But if you ask somebody how they feel about it, if you were to say, how do you feel about that? I'm not sure how I feel about that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it's good? Well, if you feel like it's good, then you should do it. Because you've given them, and they say, well, I feel bad. I don't know. It's because they're telling you that how they would see it. But damn, never ask anybody how they think about it. Because that conversation can go on for hours. They can give you 100 reasons why you shouldn't do it. And out of those 100 reasons, there's only one reason why you should. Man, folks, I can go on all night with this. This is like a really strong topic. I love these kind of topics because I think it's important to know where you're guiding your ship, where you're guiding yourself, where you're guiding your life, and where those people that you love, your kids, your family, where you're guiding, where you're taking yourself, where you're projecting yourself forward into the future. Listen, we're born and we die, but in the middle is apple pie, man. You get to experience life however you want. You can experience it through the eyes of those who've got the power there, or you can experience the power that you've created for yourself. Because in the middle, nothing is etched in stone. It's the moment. It's the now. It's here. You're listening. Some of you are here. You're here. You're in the moment. This is all you have. As you progress into the future, the past is over. The 3 seconds of thing that I said 3 seconds ago is over. Now we're back here. We're in the present. We're in the future. Every time I speak, we go into the future. Every time I project, I create energy. I create things in my body that push me and project me forward. Love energy, healing energy, to put me in the stasis, in the state of mind to move forward. So my friends, do your best. Do your best to be the best version of yourself every day. Honor yourself, trust yourself, love yourself. Know that you are loved by the higher version of yourself. You're loved by Creator. And there is a Creator. I mean, you may or may disagree with me, but in my eyes of eyes and hearts of heart, I know that there was someone with a much greater imagination than mine who created all this, who made all this, who made me, who made this cell phone so I can project this. Oh, yeah, we made it. We invented it. Sure, we invented it through the imagination of a creator. Because there's nothing new under the sun. It's just there to be harnessed and grabbed and ready to be reciprocated and embedded into our spirit and soul. So if you want to see change in the world, then be the change that you want to see. You've heard that, right? That's a true story. You want to see change? Then change you. Change the things about you that the world can't control. There are things that we have to play along with and move with, understandably. But there are some things that the world can't take from you. Your dreams, your beliefs, your heart, your spirit, your soul. You can give that to them and they can feel like they control you, yes. But harness it, reclaim it, take it back. It's yours. All right. I'll be at Zendoa this Saturday. I'll be doing a drum circle at 7 p.m. So those of you who are in Bell Fountain area, I'll be there. And then I have Reiki Center on the 16th. And then we have Ash Cave on the 28th of April. So, hey, things are moving fast. Things are moving cool. You want to make it happen, then do it. That's how I did it. I just did it and just see what would happen. You know, I remember my first drum circle. Only one person showed up. But you know what? Who was that one person? It was me, because I forgot to send the invite. But that's how we learn. That's how it goes. I'm the only person in the room, but that's how it goes. The next time, there was 30 people. You know, that was in 2000. But here we go. Just keep plugging away. Just keep moving forward. And don't forget to send buttons and subscribe to my YouTube page at Iggy Garcia. It's good to be here. Just look for that. And join my page and check me out on Instagram at Mandriotti and here on Facebook. Take care, guys. Be well. Enjoy the rest of this month. Almost about to end. As we roll into the new month, enjoy April. Be careful with April Fool's Day. Don't let those little comedian guys, little clowns get you. All right. So we'll see you soon. Be well. Take care. Peace and love. Ho'oponopono, mataku yasin. And it's good to be here. Yes, it is. Let's say it. It's good to be here.